Maelstrom Wanderer versus Skullbriar the Walking Grave. I need to check out Skullbriar actually. Someone suggested that I do that with all the new keyword counters that are coming out recently. Yeah, we've got a load of expensive stuff in our hand there, so we absolutely have to mulligan that. Jiraga Tree Speaker, we can level up next turn. Yeah, player on turn 1, leveler up turn 2. And then maybe we'll be able to play a 2-mana spell. We'll keep that anyway, get rid of the Tooth and Nail. And our opponent starts things off with a Llanowar Elves as well, no black mana yet. We'll go for Jiraga Tree Speaker. And there's the black mana they need, so I dare say they're going for the Skullbriar. They tend to want to get their commander out as soon as possible. No, going for a Terror. So we need to get into a land for the Kodama's Reach now. And that's the one we want, so we might as well go for... Yeah, we'll just get down a Triome with that. I'm not going to bother bluffing to my opponent. Another black source for them takes them into their Skullbriar. And they've still got a couple of mana held up, but deciding to swing in with the Llanowar Elves, which gets a plus counter on their Skullbriar. And we get into Solemn. Let's just go for the Kodama's Reach and may well go for Acidic Slime next turn. Grab a green and a blue source. Put the green in and we'll play the island next turn. Actually, it makes more sense to go for Profit next turn, doesn't it? And then we can go Acidic Slime in response to our opponent swinging in with their commander, maybe. Although I don't think that'll slow them down too much. Maybe we just chump block with the Solemn Simulacrum. Going straight through to combat on their turn, continuing to swing in with the Llanowar Elves. They've got 3 cards in hand, 4 mana held up. Alright, a Lotus Cobra. May well be that they just hold on to removal. Yeah, let's just go for the Prophet of Kruphix here. If they've got removal for it, then so be it. Apparently they don't have any removal for that, so we'll be able to go for a Solemn Simulacrum. Throw that in the way of the Skullbriar. And again, they're going straight through to combat. Might be that they are not having all that much luck with their draws. So we'll get down enough mana to go in for the Wormcoil Engine next turn. And this time we will get down a Mountain. So we've got all of our basics sorted. Then we'll block with the Solemn as well. And that will obviously draw us a card, as we all know. And we get into a Lantamate for next turn. So we're doing alright here. Let's go Lotus Cobra. Then play a land after the Lotus Cobra is hit, because that has landfall, make a mana. And why don't we just go in for the Wormcoil Engine now? We can surprise them with an Acidic Slime, I think. No, let's go for Acidic Slime now. I think we'll go after their... It's kinder to go after their green mana. I think I'll go after the black mana. They've got another black in Guildmage's Forum. So we've got a Death Toucher to get in the way of the Skullbriar now, so they need to get into some kind of evasion. And it seems as though they're deciding to hold their commander back this time. Might have ground them to a halt here. Alright. Swinging in, maybe they've got a buff spell, or maybe they just don't mind getting rid of the Acidic Slime and then replaying Skullbriar. Maybe they will mind us blocking with a Wormcoil Engine. So let's go for that. So Wormcoil Engine comes down successfully. We will block like that. Gain ourselves 6 life if we manage to deal damage, which we may well not do. Yep, they had a combat trick there, so a regeneration shield goes onto the Skullbriar. We'll still gain the life here though. So going back up to 26. And I think... Yeah, I don't mind either Greater Good or our commander next turn, to be honest. Alright, Mosswort Bridge allows us to go for the Lotus Cobra into our commander. Let's see what we hide away under the Mosswort Bridge. We're going to be able to do that next turn. Okay, Mana Reflection or a land. Definitely go Mana Reflection. And then we add the mana with Lotus Cobra. Let's just make Teamer and go in for our commander. Then it's Cascade twice on the Maelstrom Wanderer. And this is where we start taking over the game here. Yeah, that's about as good a Cascade as you can hope for. Karn Liberated gets rid of their Skullbriar. Won't be surprised to see a concession from our opponent here. And a Bribery. Don't know how many creatures our opponent actually has in their library. Oh, quite a few actually. Let's see here. Vigor would be good. Ulamog would be good. They're nowhere near the Ulamog. Yeah, let's just grab their Ulamog. And then that's going to have haste, so we can swing in with it this turn. It does have Annihilator 4. So we might as well swing in with everything except the Lotus Cobra, because all of our stuff will untap next turn. Assuming they don't kill off the Prophet of Kruphix. Ulamog triggers the Annihilator 4 that we stole from our opponent. And they decide to scoop there, which is fair enough. Like I said, we've taken over the game at this point. They'd have to sack 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold up 3 lands, and can't get rid of a land. Yeah, exile a target permanent, so we'd be forced to go after their land, and they'd only have 2 lands left in play, so using our opponent's Ulamog against them there, they just couldn't ramp into it quickly enough. Not a particularly interesting game, that one, so I say we get on to the next one. In for game 2 now with the Maelstrom Wanderer up against Psy Master Thopterist. And that hand is pretty bad actually. We've got lands, but I don't seem to be able to get into lands and ramp today. Not with this deck. Let's mulligan that one. Alright, speaking of ramp, that is much, much better. Let's keep there. And our opponent just saw our commander, apparently. Okay, third time's a charm, hopefully. Although, maybe not against Queen Marchesa. Playing the Maelstrom Wanderer, as you all know. Again, getting into our big expensive stuff. We've got a ramp spell this time, at least. But I think we have to mulligan that one. Yeah, that's better. It's still not incredible. We'll have to get rid of the Sphinx of Athun, I think. And then we're on the play this time, so let's go for the Misty Rainforest in for a Tropical Island. And that comes in untapped, which allows us to go for the Elvish Mystic. Could have gone for a tap land there, but you never know, we might get into a 3-mana spell that we can ramp with. Cultivates and the like. A Battlefield Forge for the Mardu player. Okay, Cyclonic Rift. I think it's been in all of our opening hands. And yeah, it's clearly just very, very eager to be played today. Let's go for the Scavenging Ooze. And we'll swing in with the Elvish Mystic. So at this point, we're either hoping for a couple of lands, a blue source to go for Bribery, or really we just want a 3-mana ramp spell. Well, there's a blue source, so one more piece of mana, assuming that we hold on to the Elvish Mystic. We'll swing in for 3 this time. Yeah, and we'll be able to go for Bribery. A red source would be good, Kiki Jiki, although don't really see what we can do with a Kiki Jiki at this point. Alright, an Urborg for our opponent. We do have some pain lands in the deck, so don't mind seeing an Urborg. Surprised our opponent hasn't done anything yet, to be honest. Usually see Queen Marchesa doing lots of stuff in the early game. Although it's not like we're doing anything either. Not having the best of luck this time around. Maybe we Chaos Warp the Scavenging Ooze and try and get into something. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Just continue to pepper away at our opponent. If our opponent goes for their Queen Marchesa here, we could always Cyclonic Rift it and swing in and take the monarchy away from them. Or Chaos Warp their Queen Marchesa, although there's every chance they get into another creature with that. Sacrificing their Scalding Tarn. Instead of tapping it for mana with the Urborg, which they do have to do if they're going in for Mardu colours. They only had double black, and then a choice of red or white. But I assume they're going in for their commander here. Yep, there she is. So maybe we can get into a big creature to block her with. We'll see if they want to swing in. Queen Marchesa does have haste. Let's go for the Chaos Warp anyway, and keep our fingers crossed. Alright, well, we get into a Mana Confluence, which we can dodge the life loss with, thanks to the Urborg, like I said. Okay, then a Muldrifter. I think I'd rather just go for Bribery at this point. And this is the good thing about running Bribery, is that you can look at your opponent's deck list. For any of you that maybe you don't particularly like my Queen Marchesa list and you'd like to look at other ones, here's your chance. Alright, a Flametongue Karvu there to get rid of their commander. Mogis Palace Jailer gets us the Monarchy. There's a Plague Crafter as well. I think Flametongue Karvu is the way to go, really. Yeah, we'll go Flametongue Karvu. That definitely deals 4, doesn't it? Yes. And then that's a 4-2. Not that many incredible creatures to choose from, but plenty of means of getting rid of their commander. And this way actually keeps a creature on our side of the field, so they'll still be able to draw an additional card next turn, but I'm hoping we'll be able to go in with the Flametongue Karvu and either kill their blocker or take the Monarchy away from them. Again, sacrificing a fetch land. Alright, going for Swords to Plowshares onto the Flametongue Karvu. So they're obviously worried about us swinging in at them with that. Then going for, alright, Mangara the Diplomat. I think it might be worth Cyclonic Rift and then swing in at them. There's every chance they get into a land and just get Queen Marchesa down next turn and take the Monarchy away from us anyway. And of course we get into a tap land. Yeah, so let's just, well, we're playing the tap land anyway. Let's go for Muldrifter. I think we just have to outramp them and try and get into our commander as soon as possible. And I do think they play a land and just get the Monarchy back off of us with Queen Marchesa entering the battlefield anyway. At least this way we've got an evasive creature to take the Monarchy away from them. Just a Mystical Tutor and Miri's Guile. Might go for Mystical Tutor on the upkeep to go for something like Skyshroud Claim. Boundless Realms I think is 7 mana, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're nowhere near that, so it'd have to be Skyshroud Claim I think. A Ruinous Path, so very similar to our deck by the looks of it, just rammed full of removal. Not going for their commander, maybe not getting into a land, surprisingly. Mangara comes in at us and then deciding against it, because don't forget we can hit you with the Elvish Mystic. Then they draw up to 7 with the Monarch. Yeah, let's go for that Mystical Tutor. And we'll go for the Skyshroud Claim. Then we're just going to play the Skyshroud Claim immediately. And that is the second spell of the turn that we've cast. So Mangara will draw our opponent a card. Let's see here. We want to be able to play Miri's Guile, so let's get a Cinderglade. That can be the tap land, and we'll go for a Tiger. And then we'll go for the Miri's Guile, not triggering Mangara with a third spell. So we just need to try and keep our Elvish Mystic in play. Not that we can do anything about targeted removal. But there's every chance we get into a land in the top 3 next turn and we can just go for Maelstrom Wanderer from there. Really give our opponent a headache. They can remove Maelstrom Wanderer as much as they want, because chances are we're getting into more ramp with the 2 cascades off of that. Anyway, getting into enough mana to go for their commander again. Although while they've got the Monarchy, they might not be too bothered about playing her. Alright, Vindicate onto one of our lands takes us further away from our commander. And then a Plague Crafter takes us further away still, because we're not managing to keep hold of our Elvish Mystic. And then we'll see if our opponent risks swinging in here. They do. Every chance we could get into a haste creature. Maybe we just go Kiki Jiki and swing in. Anyway, it's always yes and yield to the Miri's Guile. And we get a Lotus Cobra. There's a Greater Good as well. Yeah, we can't go for both Lotus Cobra and Kiki Jiki. So let's go Greater Good, Cobra, and we'll play a land this turn. So play the land, go for Kiki Jiki, Mirror Breaker. And this goblin is probably going to eat some removal from our opponent, but it will also allow us to draw into the Lotus Cobra. At the end of the turn, that is, thanks to the Monarch, so we'll just have to hold up the Cyclonic Rift. Might be that they cast something in the first main phase and then rely, or try to rely, on Mangara to take the monarchy away from us again, and therefore not being able to afford to cast Queen Marchesa, so we might be able to keep it for another turn, depending on how our opponent plays this. They should go straight through to combat if they want to focus on taking the monarchy away from them. Going for a talisman first, anyway, that's... yeah, that puts them a land away from their Queen Marchesa. They may well have another land in hand, though. Then it is a Dreadbore from our opponent, more removal, as we thought would happen with the Kiki Jiki. Good one to point removal at the best of times. Don't think we've seen a land yet. Looks like they are going to try and take the Monarch away from us with the Mangara. Alright, no, just leaving us alone to keep it. Do we just keep the Cyclonic Rift then? No, I think we still go for this. It's not like they've got a load of permanents in play to make use of the overloaded Cyclonic Rift with. Holding up 3 mana anyway. There is a Sol Ring, I don't mind that. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yeah, I think we're going for Sol Ring. And we will cascade into these two, which I don't mind either. Actually, Bloodbraid Elf will cascade past the Greater Good, because it needs to be less CMC, doesn't it? So we go Bloodbraid Elf, we cascade into Greater Good first, and we draw into Sol Ring this turn. And we'll use the black mana to play the Sol Ring. And then we're going straight in for our commander. And we know what cards we're cascading into. Greater Good is going to keep cards in our hands so they can point removal at Maelstrom Wanderer if they want to, but we'll just draw 7 and discard 3. Bloodbraid Elf is going to be able to swing in this turn as well, and it will also give us its own cascade, which takes us into Spoils of Victory for more mana. So we're only 1 land away from recasting our commander now. Let's get down a tapped Steam Vents. And then we've got 10 damage on board. I dare say our opponent has removal in hand, but like I said, they're welcome to use it. Only 3 direct hits you can take from Maelstrom Wanderer, thanks to the 7 points of damage. Obviously, 7 times 3 is 21 points of commander. Taking them down to 10 anyway, so we would actually take their life total down before we saw the commander damage here. And a Praetor's Council is really good because we have definitely made use of a lot of cards this game. So we'd get a lot back into hand there. Now they can just play their commander and take the monarchy away from us. They don't have to swing in to take it. Queen Marchesa brings it in with her. And then they can just hold back a Death Toucher and try and not take as much damage. Okay, and our opponent said that there was no way out for them there. They had a bunch of cards in hand, but I don't know. I like to think that they had a bunch of removal looking at their deck list. What were we drawing into next turn? Okay, Tooth and Nail, not really all that sure what we would have gone for with Tooth and Nail, but I'm sure we could have done something degenerate with it. Anyway, did quite well there. I always wonder what it's like to be on the other side of a Queen Marchesa deck that is similar to the one that we've built. Just a bunch of control and removal and stuff like that. And yeah, got a little taste of it there, but managing to win out with Maelstrom Wanderer anyway. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.